get dragged for this, but I wanted to say a couple months ago you had actually made a live. You were sitting at your kitchen table and you were talking about when everybody was talking about the powder, the white powder.
Hmm.
And you made a comment and you said, I don't do drugs. And people who do drugs, they maybe you didn't say verbatim, but you said, a heart's a muscle. And you put your hands up, and you said, boom, boom. Eventually, that heart is going to give out. And when you said that, it actually hit me because I had a small problem with that recently because my daughter had passed away. And since I watched that live, I haven't touched it since. And I just want to thank you for that live that day. I watched the whole thing and I wasn't expecting anything like that. Um, I was hard watching it. Like I said, my daughter was 15. She passed away about 7 months ago and I lost
Sorry
it.
to hear that.
Thank you. I lost it. I'm actually a doctor. I never went to work. I actually haven't been to work in about since then. But when I, watched your hand go, boom, boom, and you looked in the camera and you said it will give out, those words hit me, and I haven't touched it since. I don't know if you remember that live
Yeah, I
specifically,
remember.
but it I think it saved my life. I did rehab for about 45 days. I haven't touched it then. I can afford to do it. I know people I could afford it to do it. So now that I've seen that, I have not touched it. I just want to let you know that your lives do touch people in ways that you don't know. Um, but I appreciate that, and I'm sober for the last 6 months. Um,
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I never, it's first time in my life, believe it or not, that I've done it. But like I said, when you see a child go in the ground in the box, it just fucks you up, and it fucks me up. So I appreciate it,
When you
and I
going back
wish.
to work?
Uh, well, I'm technically supposed to be back next week. My dog doesn't know what I've been doing. I've kind of leaned on my daughter's death as a grieving process and not to go back to work, but it was a little bit of both. I was in the streets hanging out, traveling, you know. So I'll be back soon. Um yeah, I'm a good doctor. I feel like I'm going to cry. I'm sorry. I just feel ashamed of it, but at the same time not giving reasons why doing that it wasn't acceptable, especially in my line of work. I could have lost everything. No one knows, my family, husband, nobody knows. I functioned, but I knew that the day that I was going to go back to work, I'd have to give it up because there's no way I could treat patients honestly and ethically, knowing I'm doing that.
Right.
Um, I don't want to go back. I'm tired, but I will because we don't. I'm in Saudi Arabia. Uh, I'm African American, believe it or not, and they don't like me out here because I am black. However, I know what I'm doing. I'm a good doctor, and I go to the villages and I do what I do. Um, but now I'm home in the states now, and then I plan to. I was a contractor. I plan on going back out there to work. So, uh, yeah, that's my kind of a confession at the same time. I'm not looking for pity. I know the comments are going to talk shit. They're weird if they do. But yeah, that life saved my life. I'm a silent watcher, and I appreciate that. And I haven't
You're
touched it
welcome.
since.
I I feel like it's time, and when you lose somebody, it can just like I said with my sister. I
Mhm.
feel like I went numb for about 2 years. Like
Yeah.
things didn't matter. Like I think I was real reckless for the past 2 years.
I
And
watched it.
I just didn't care
I
because
didn't either.
I feel like I felt like everything I had just gone. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and it messes your mind up. It does.
Mm.
So I say I don't understand the loss of a child, and I pray to God I don't
Mm.
never have to. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But my sister was my baby, if that makes sense.
It does.
Like she couldn't do anything for
Mm-hmm.
herself, so she was like a baby that could never get bigger or better. Like just a baby.
Mm-hmm.
like as you would take care of a baby, I had to take care of her. So I mean, I just feel like she left me empty and with nothing, no
Mm,
one no one to talk to. Cause see, my sister, I could tell her all my secrets, and I knew they wasn't going nowhere,
mm.
you know.
Yeah,
And I knew she wouldn't judge me, no matter what it was, you know. And that was my everything I needed, you know. And then it was just like, damn, well, what am I supposed to do now, you know? Like, who am I supposed to talk to now? Everybody else turns their back on me, you know. Everybody flips, you know. She's the only solid person that
mm,
I had, and you know, for two years and some change, I feel like I did a lot of erratical dumb shit, and just was just like, I feel like I was just on just go, whatever,
mm.
whatever happens. And
That's
I
how I.
think basically I was on self destruction mode, literally.
Oh, I was ready. I was ready to go. My daughter unalived herself because she
Yeah.
was bullied. She was my only child at that. So
Sorry.
I'm not. I can't see the comments, but if you are have anybody saying anything weird about my situation, when you go back to when your children go back to school, teach them self respect, because I tell you what, a lot of children are tired of seeing other children being bullied in all grades, and you have a very high risk of having your child get their ass whooped for being a bully. My daughter was dragged on social media. Oh God, it was terrible. And I keep it real with her. I tell her about predator, all kinds of shit. And I did random checks, and just one female just dragged that little girl, and she just, yeah. So, and I found her the way she was. So I have lots of anger, bitterness in me. And but like I said, when I seen that live, I said, yeah, I got to do something different. Um and Yeah, like you said, you were self-destruct for 2 years. You didn't give a fuck. I didn't either. I really didn't. I make very good money. I could afford it. No one knew. And I didn't give a fuck, because if something was to happen to me, if I died or OD'd on it, they wouldn't know the difference. They just figured I don't know, old, or not old, but young, and just tragically whatever. So yeah, the people, when I see people talk about you in the comments, it's fucking, it's crazy. It makes no fucking sense. But the internet is a whole different type of fucking planet. It's a different world, sick fucking world. And it bothers me. People. One thing I will say, I go from one, because when I was high, I was going from one live to another, trying to connect stories, but anybody that has we have never heard about is connected from you in some way, shape, or form. That's how they got their coins. So if they sit there and lie and say they didn't, it's bullshit. That's how they
Hmm.
got paid, whether it was $1.50 or 400,000. So you keep going, doing what you do. Life is short as fuck. Do you? And yeah, the world is sick as fuck. It's weird. If I would have known what I know now, we probably wouldn't have had no kids. But here we are. So
Right.
I'm going to get off. It's super. I'm tired. I thank you for inviting me on your panel. Many
And
blessings to you and
and
Whitney.
God bless you, and I hope that you find peace.
Thank you. Well, one thing I know for sure, I'll never find peace. I just know over time I'll be able to tolerate it more, accept it more, and keep my daughter's memory alive. Her name was
Well,
Eloisa.
Eloisa, rest in
Yes.
peace, Eloisa.
Thank you.
You're welcome.